Hello fellow plastic throwers, this is Falcom, and in today's Airsoft review we're going to be taking a look at the Amoeba Striker AS01 Airsoft Bolt Action Sniper Rifle. Striker is made from a blend of polymer and metal. You have a polymer stock and a alloy outer barrel and receiver. And the externals of this gun, I can't fault. They're very solid and very well put together. There's no creaks or rocking or squeals. It's absolutely solid as a rock. And the weight of this gun comes out to 3.3 kilograms, which is 7.2 pounds. And then if we chuck a magazine into the mix, it goes up to 7.6 pounds, which is 3.4 kilograms. And the length of this gun comes out at 109 centimeters, which is roughly 43 inches. On the right hand side of the gun you have your bolt handle, and I don't think there's a way of switching the bolt handle around to the left side on this gun, at least not out of the box. Now normally with the Striker sniper rifles they are short stroked, so the bolt travel isn't that far, probably comes out to about here maximum. However, because this one's got the Mancraft SDIK sniper dropping kit, it's short stroked even further. One thing that's really nice about these out of the box is that they accommodate AEG springs instead of the silly little VSR10 or AWS sniper springs, because we find that sniper springs are just a complete pain in the arse to work on, whereas you get an AEG spring, you put it in your gun, it will do the velocity you want it to do. It will do the velocity that that spring's designed for. Now normally you have a VSR10 style safety here, however my dad removed it because he kept catching the bolt handle on it. The trigger is a bog standard curved trigger, no straight trigger nonsense. Now inside this trigger box it's not completely stock, it has a ESD 90-degree trigger sear, although that's a bit overkill now with the Mancraft SDIK because the spring on that is nothing compared to a full power sniper mainspring. The magazine release on this gun is a 2-in-1 trigger guard style magazine release and AK paddle style magazine release. Now the magazines for this gun I believe hold 50 rounds, I'll have to double check, and these magazines are styled to look like 338 Lapua Magnum magazines, and because of that they're quite large. They're slightly larger than the M14 mags, so they might be a fight to fit into pouches, and it might be a bit difficult to find said pouches. And the magazine fits in this mag well here, and then of course to remove it you can either push down on the trigger guard or push the paddle forward like so. And bonus points for the internal toolkit: if you remove this little cover here on the bottom of the grip, you have two Allen keys, one for the stock screws and one for the hop screw. And at the back of the gun coming out the stock we have our HPA feed tube with our Mancraft quick detach adapter. And towards the end of the stock, just before the butt plate, you have a sling mount here. Now you can mount the sling mount on the other side. You have to remove these two bolts here, take the sling mount, put it around this side and put the bolts through on this side. And on the underside of the front of the stock you have a sling mount here. We've removed the sling mount loop though, which allowed us to mount a Harris style bipod to it. However, the old man has removed the bipod because he wanted it to be a bit lighter and he didn't like the way the bipod would snag on things. And at the muzzle end of the gun you have a suppressor thread cap. I'm not going to remove it because it's glued on right now from all of the camo that's on it. And underneath this is a 24mm clockwise thread if I remember correctly, and you can actually 3D print adapters for this. However, we've not found one yet which is particularly strong, and we don't really want to lose a suppressor in the field. And running along the top of the receiver here you have a Picatinny optic rail, and of course on top of that, because it's a sniper rifle, we have a telescopic sight. And hidden underneath all of this scrim and hessian we have a TDC hop unit, because this gun comes with a TDC out of the box. And normally you would have a grub screw which would sit in the top of the rail, and you take the little Allen key from the toolkit built into the stock, stick it down through the top rail and adjust your hop unit that way. However, we 3D printed a wheel which allows us to adjust it on the fly. I don't know where we got the plans from, I'll have to have a look, but it works really well. Now I'm sure you can imagine the insides of this gun aren't completely stock. We do have a stock inner barrel which is a 603 type ball by standard. However, we did remove the bridge to allow it to accommodate a maple leaf MR hop. We used to have it Sugru hopped and that was incredible. However, the patch blew out after some use and we could never really get the replacement patch to work, so we thought, sod it, let's give something else a go. And the MR hops, they seem to be quite good, they seem to work really well. In fact, we've got a few more which we're going to put in another rifle which you don't know about yet, but you'll see. And of course a TDC hop unit is the best way to go, especially with sniper rifles, and this one you don't need to modify. It's not like a VSR10 where you'd have to drill a hole for the top of the barrel and tap it and put a screw in to have a TDC. This comes with that out of the box. Now the main thing we really like about the Ares Amoeba Striker family is that they're very easy to work on. These guns are designed to come apart easily, and in fact Ares sell drop-in kits for the cylinder assembly. And what you get in these kits is a upgraded cylinder, spring guide, cylinder head and piston. And to remove the cylinder to put a drop-in kit in, it's quite easy. All you would have to do is remove the cocking indicator, although this no longer exists on this gun because we've obviously got the HPA tap going through there. And then once you've done that, you can then remove the cylinder. You might have to pull the trigger a bit to get the sears to drop out the way. You then take the bolt handle off the old cylinder, put it on the new cylinder, slide it in, put the cocking indicator back in, and you are good to go. And with one of those drop-in kits, my dad was able to quickly get this up to the 500 FPS sniper limit. Now the cocking indicator did give us some problems. The cocking indicator also acts as the spring guide stopper, so it is essential. However, you can buy replacement pins without the cocking indicator element, because we found that the cocking indicator kept binding up and jamming on the cylinder, so bit iffy there, but like I said, you can buy replacement pins which remove that problem altogether. However, as I mentioned before, this gun is HPA'd, so we have our HPA tap coming along through here and going into where the cocking indicator used to be, and that provides an air supply to the Mancraft SDIK or sniper drop-in kit. Now the main motivation behind HPAing this rifle was to make it a bit easier to cock, especially when you're laying down, and not only that, it makes it a lot quieter if you've got it suppressed, and because it's HPA you can basically dial your velocity right in. You can have it set bang on the limit. All you've got to do is adjust the regulator until you get it bang on, and it works really well. The Mancraft kit works really well, it's very consistent. Now performance wise, there's no point chronoing this because, as I said, we can have any velocity we want because it's HPA. Out of the box, if I remember correctly, this fired approximately 430, 450 FPS. I'm a bit hazy about that. And the range and accuracy of this sniper rifle is very impressive. It performed really well out of the box. However, once we had it Sugu hopped, that's when things got ridiculous. Now granted, you're going to have to take my word for this, but in testing we found that this was able to just reach out to over 100 metres. In fact, my dad managed to land a shot on me during testing at 105 metres according to Google Maps. And before you jump on me about Google Maps, please check out my M14 range test video. Check the cards in the description before you start smashing your head against the keyboard about Google Maps. And the TDC hop worked really well. It has no problems lifting even the heaviest of sniper rounds. And what's interesting about the Striker is, for some reason, there's a lot of bad press around it. A lot of people seem to think that these things are not really capable of doing anything unless you spend like $1,000 on it. I mean, for example, we've been told that these things can't lift heavyweight rounds, which is complete rubbish. It comes with a TDC out of the box and it works perfectly fine. VSR 10s don't come with a TDC out of the box. And another thing that people kept telling us about that was something that was basically crucial to getting this gun to work at any sort of decent level was to fit one of the dual bore barrels that everyone bangs on about. I don't see what the point is in one of those. Why not just have a normal type bore, save yourself a bit of money? If there isn't enough volume to fill the barrel, well then that's fine, the BB will carry on anyway. I don't see the point of making it a wide bore halfway through. I think wide bores are a complete waste of time. I think they're frankly a scam. So I have no idea why. I mean, it worked perfectly fine as a Springer with the normal barreling. It's a standard 603 type bore in this. It works perfectly fine. It's perfectly accurate. It's perfectly usable. It's perfectly capable of competing with the VSR 10s and AWSs and the Silverbacks. And it just seems to work perfectly fine. I don't see why you would need to spend 80, 90, 100 quid on a ruddy barrel which gets wider towards the end. And if you were going to do that, why not just save yourself a bit of money and chop the barrel down? So chop your standard barrel down, so that way you can volume match it, which I think is a big waste of time. Obviously, don't cut down your barrel either. That's a stupid idea. That's ridiculous. A longer barrel is what you want for long range shooting. I think this gun does get a bit of a hard time from people. People say, oh, you need to do loads of mods to this to get it to work, but then a VSR 10 doesn't do 400 FPS out of the box. It probably barely does 300. It doesn't come with a TDC, so you have to do that. You have to drill pins out of it to get the cylinder head off. You know, I don't know why the VSR 10 gets a pass but the Striker doesn't, but regardless, it doesn't matter. This one in our arsenal works really well, so that's what matters to us. But anyway, regardless of that, would I recommend the Ares Amoeba Striker AS01 bolt action airsoft sniper rifle? Well, if you want a sniper rifle which isn't a VSR 10, and it's significantly easier to work on in my opinion, and not only that, it performs very well out of the box, then definitely get yourself one of these. It seems to be a good workhorse, and it seems to be very reliable, and it's really well built. It's really solid, it's got a decent weight to it, but it's not too heavy, and the weight is really well balanced too. It's not like the M14 where it feels like a lot of the weight's on the front of the gun. And just overall, thumbs up for me. It is a really good bit of kit. and I would definitely recommend this. So that's it for this review. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions about this gun, then please make sure you leave them down in the comments. If you found this video helpful or useful, then make sure you leave a like, and if you don't want to miss out on any new Airsoft content, then please make sure you subscribe and enable notifications. And as always guys, play fair, play safe, take care.